We are August 15 and today I am back at my apiary near Quebec City, where there is a lot of activity at the entrance of my only hive here. So 2 weeks ago, the last time I was here, the hive was heavily lacking food, so I had to put a 2-gallon bucket of syrup on top of it before I left. Also during the inspection 2 weeks ago, I found out that the empty frames I put inside the hive after the hive removal were not used. They were not drawn at all because they were lacking food, they were lacking nectar to build up those frames. So I changed them for already drawn frames that already had some comb. So today I am looking to see if they are using those drawn frames that I put inside. I'm looking to see if they are now safe food-wise, because we had a heavy drought over here, so I'm not sure they managed to pull so much nectar from the flowers around here. And I am also looking to do the sampling for the Varroa infestation, just to see at what levels they are and to see if I need to do a treatment for the control of the Varroa population levels. So let's jump in. So I am about to open the hive. I'm going to remove the bucket of syrup I put in place 2 weeks ago. I'm hoping to find it empty, and I also hope I won't need to put another one up today before I leave. So the bucket is empty. They built some comb between the inner space and the bucket as they emptied it. So I think they have drawn some wax that was missing on the frame inside of it as well. So that's good. So from the first look, they now appear to use about all of the frame, which was not the case last time I came. They were only using the first 4.5 or 5 frames. So that's a good improvement. On that frame, mostly empty, but there's a bit of nectar inside of it. We can see it shine when I move the frames around. The backside is not built at all. Alright, so I have a bit of comb right here, a bit of larva right beside it, but most of it here is nectar in that comb. At the back, I have a lot of eggs in the top part that is freshly built, so the wax is whiter than the wax around it. So that wax is new, and there is eggs inside of those inside of that comb. So I'm going to be looking for the queen just to be sure I don't wash her during my sampling. A lot of comb on here as well, mostly emerge, but there are eggs in the middle of it where it looks empty. So the queen is laying quite well, and the population is increasing because of those emerging bees. So I think it's going quite well to have a healthy level of bees as winter comes. That frame will be a good one to shake and retrieve the bees for my sampling. A lot of larvas in those frames. So I think this was an old one that I put. A lot of nectar and honey at the top, in the corners. So food wise I think they are good. I'm not putting back another bucket before I leave today. So this was a frame that I removed during the hive removal. So it's now fully built. I have the queen moving around here on the side of the frame. She may be looking to lay, looking for some space. So yeah, she's healthy. And she has a very good laying pattern as well. So since she is on that 4th frame, I'm going to do a quick inspection of the next ones, but I think I'm going to sample those two for the Varroa infestation level. So still nectar and honey in the top corners, a lot of larvas in those comb as well. I know the lighting is not good enough, the angle is bad, but yeah, it is a strong colony now. A lot of very young larvas. It's going to boom in the next weeks, population wise. I may be adding a honey super before I leave today instead of a bucket of syrup, because I'm seeing a lot of swarm cell on that frame. I'm going to remove them today, but I'm leaving an extra super before I leave because I'm not planning to have that hive swarm again so soon. I just got it. I have some on the backside as well. I'm going to go ahead and destroy those that I'm seeing. Like this one here as well. And all the other side, because all those frames are really full and they are going to enter into panic mode if they don't have some more space really soon. There was nothing in those cells, but it's like a warning the way they built those. Good thing I went ahead and checked the next frames beside the queen. Wait, this one is very heavy, full of brood, wall to wall. That's a nice looking frame. A lot of honey as well in the corner. The other side is the same, honey in the corner, full face of brood. Some more swarm cells here in the middle of the frame, two of them. On the bottom there is nothing. I'm going to destroy them like I did the one earlier. On the other side I have a few more, two more. And on the last frame, what do I have? An empty side, and the other side is half brood, half honey. Oh yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the first frames. The queen was on that one. I'm just going to check again to see if she's still there, and I'm going to sample those two, or one of those two, to check the infestation level of the Varroa inside the hive. So the queen was last seen on that frame. I am not seeing her anymore. She may have moved forward, or she may have moved backward on one of the frames that I want to sample, so I will need to take a good look to be sure I don't sample her as well. A lot of larvae, so I'm quite sure those are mostly nursing bees, the perfect candidates for the alcohol wash, because since they are nursing, they are mostly younger bees, and the Varroa tends to attach to those. Oh yeah, so not going to use that frame because the queen is here moving around. I'm going to use the next one, and I should have enough bees. I need half a cup, so about 300 bees for the test. So I'm going to fill a container designed for that with isopropyl ethanol or isopropylic alcohol. So the bees I put inside die instantly, and as they die, the Varroa will also die, and they are going to dislodge from the bees and fall on the bottom of the container through a mesh that is properly sized for the Varroa. So I have a measuring cup. I need half a cup of those bees. So I take the frame that I'm interested in. I'm going to shake it in my container and gather about half a cup of bees. Not too much. That's about half a cup. And in the alcohol they go. I'm going to close up the hive for a little while so they can sit in the alcohol and so the Varroa can detach itself from the bees. But during that time I'm going to go grab a honey super and a queen excluder so I can add a level to this beehive because they really need the space now and I don't want them swarming on me 4 weeks after I remove them from a roof. So I'm just closing it up temporarily. Alright, so after doing my alcohol wash and letting it sit for a couple of minutes and waiting for the Varroa to detach themselves from the bees, I have a grand total of 0 Varroas per 300 bees in that hive, which is hard to believe, and I don't think I have no level of infestation, but it is low enough that I cannot properly detect it through that test. So I won't be needing to treat that hive for the Varroa today. So I'm going to open the hive up again to add the honey super at the top. I add the queen excluder to be sure the queen cannot go up and lay inside the new frames. I add the honey super, and that super is already full of frames that were extracted last year, so they are now fully drawn, ready to be used. Most of them are fully drawn, but I have some that are missing some spots, like this one missing some spots on the side, but it is ready to be used in the middle. So they are going to go up through the queen excluder, hopefully start stocking the nectar and honey at the top so the queen can keep laying at the bottom and I don't have to deal with a swarm on this side. Alright, so I'm going to add the inner cover. I'm going to put a mesh in that center hole for ventilation. And I am adding the top cover on the hive. So the hive is going very well. There is a lot, and I mean a lot of eggs, a lot of very young larvas. So the queen started laying very heavily in the drawn frames that I put 2 weeks ago when I came here last. And so now we are a few weeks away from a full-on metamorphosis of those bees and a boom in population just as the season is ending. So I don't know how it is going to go for the winter preparation. So space-wise, they were lacking a lot of space, so I added a honey super with a queen excluder. I have a few hopes of pulling some honey here this year, but I'm not so sure about that. The population is going to be very strong at the end of fall and at the start of winter. That is a certainty from what I've seen today, and I just hope they can survive through winter. So I did my sampling for the Varroa level, infestation level. I had a rate of 0% of infestation. I find that hard to believe, as I said earlier, but I'm not going to treat because the level was not high enough to be detectable, so it is not high enough to have an impact on the health of the hive and the bees inside of it. So I'm not adding another gallon of syrup today before I leave. The goldenrod is just starting to bloom, and there is a lot around here, so I am not afraid of food levels going too low and the hive dying down. What I'm scared of is the swarm cells I saw on a few frames and that I destroyed. So that's why I had the honey super today, to be sure that they have space to store up that nectar that is going to flow inside of the hive, and so the queen can keep laying inside the frame that she has. And she is a solid laying queen. The frames, those that had brood inside of it, were full from side to side, and those that do not have cat brood yet, they are full of eggs and full of larvas. So this is a very healthy colony, and I'm very happy that I managed to remove it from the roof 4 weeks ago.